got to give the people what they want. All right. This is our test review. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a problem from each section. I time myself, see how long it takes. If I can do more, I'll do more. But what you're going to do is you have to, at minimum, have done the problems that I do on here, and you need to submit a picture. So you need to submit a picture for your homework. The other thing you need to do is make a toolkit for the test. Study for the test. Okay? Y'all got to be prepared. Y'all got to make this happen. All right? So let's get it crack-a-lack-a-lackin'. Let's do number 2. Why don't you go ahead and do number 2 right now and then see if what you did agrees with what I did. So cool. You paused it and you did number 2. All right. So if I was doing number 2, I'd be like, okay, I got to find the cosecant of theta of this angle. Okay. So first let me do TOA. Okay. I know the cosecant is connected to sine. The cosecant is the opposite of the reciprocal of sine. So the cosecant of theta equals, since it's the opposite of sine, it's the hypotenuse over the opposite. So that's what I'm looking for. I need to know, to find the cosecant of theta, I need to know it's the hypotenuse over the opposite. Remember, it is the reciprocal. It's the flip of sine. So let me go ahead and label around my triangle. Here's the hypotenuse. Here is the opposite. And here is the adjacent. Oh, man. Well, I already know the cosecant of theta. Oops. Equals the hypotenuse, which is 17, over the opposite, which I don't know, which means I have to do a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Right? Any right triangle, I can find the sides. Remember, the hypotenuse is always c. Everything else doesn't matter. So I'm going to take 8 squared plus the opposite squared, b squared, equals 17 squared. Well, 8 times 8 is 64, plus b squared equals, I don't know what 17 times 17 is. 17 times 17, 289. Minus 64, minus 64. B squared equals 289 minus 64, 225. Square root, B equals square root of 225, which is 15. Okay? So the opposite is a 15, which means the cosecant is 17 over 15. One down. All right, let's look at one in the next section. Let's do number, let me make sure those match what you had. Yeah, let's do number 8. So why don't you do number 8 on your own right now? Cool, you just did that because you're like, I'm going to find out if I'm going to be able to do good on this test or what I need to practice on. So the first thing I have to do is I need to draw it. It says in each triangle, ABC, C is the right angle. So let me draw a triangle. Here's my right angle. C is the right angle. Okay, so A, B, C. Number 8 says find the sine of A. So I'm going to do TOA, sine, opposite over hypotenuse. This is angle A. Find the sine of angle A. If B is the square root of 21, so if this is point B, this is side B, square root of 21. C, if this is C, this is angle C, C measuring 5 is across from that. Okay? This one, we don't know. But I know that I need to find the sine of angle A, and sine is what? Opposite over hypotenuse. Okay, because that's right here. Well, do I know the opposite? No. Right? Here's the opposite. Here's the hypotenuse. Here is the adjacent. So far, for sine of A, all I know is that the hypotenuse is 5. But I got to figure out what the opposite is. Again, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So, remember, hypotenuse is always c. So a squared, square root of 21 squared, plus b squared equals c squared, 5 squared. C is always the hypotenuse. So square root of 21 squared means the square root of 21 times the square root of 21, which equals 21, plus b squared, and that work, equals 25. Okay. Finish solving for b. Minus 21, b squared equals 4. Square root, b equals 2. So that means that this side would have to be 2. Oh, now if the opposite is 2, sine A is the opposite over the hypotenuse. So it's 2/5. Bang, bang, bang. Let us keep it moving. Let's do one from the next section. All right. Find the measure of each side. Round it to the nearest tenth. Okay, let's do number 16. Why don't you do number 16 right now for yourself? Cool. You just did that, so let's see. Oh boy. All right, let's label around this triangle. We're going to use this angle. So I know that this is the hypotenuse. In accordance to 20, I know that this is the opposite. And in accordance to 20, I know that this is the adjacent. Okay. So far, for this, again, coming back to SOHCAHTOA. Well, what do I know? I know for 20, I happen to have a hypotenuse and an opposite. And I'm looking for the opposite. So I'm going to use what I have. Which one talks about hypotenuse and hypotenuse and opposite? It's going to be a sine again, opposite hypotenuse. So the sine of 20 degrees equals the opposite, x over the hypotenuse, 3.2. Now I just got to solve for x. Sine of 20 you can do. That is calculatable. So let's see. Clear. Sine of 20 degrees. I got 0.342. So 0.342 equals x over 3.2. I'm trying to now solve for x. So I'm going to multiply by 3.2. I end up with x equals whatever 0.342 times 3.2 equals 1.094 actually. So this is telling me x is 1.094. All right, I just figured that one out. Let's do one more. Maybe we'll do two more. Let's do the cosine. Oh, haha. Find the measure of each angle, 11, 12. We forgot one. We'll do the last one, number 11. Find the measure of each angle. Let's do number 12. Go ahead and do number 12. I knew we forgot one. Do number 12 here. All right, you paused it and you try to do number 12. So you looked at this and figured out, okay, I got to figure out what the measure of this angle is. So I'm going to label around the triangle. Here's the hypotenuse. This is adjacent. This is opposite. I'm seeing here I have an opposite and an adjacent, so I'm going to look at SOHCAHTOA, opposite and adjacent. So I'm going to start thinking about tangent. So I'm going to say the tangent of this angle, theta, equals the opposite, 14, over the adjacent, 13.4. And now here's where I do. I just got to get rid of tangent. So the tangent of theta, the way I get rid of tangent is to take an arctangent, an inverse. Tangent -1. Yep. And I do tangent -1 right there. So these cancel. I'm left with theta equals whatever the arctangent of 14 over 34 is. I'm going to go to my calculator, and I'm going to do second. Oops, clear. Okay, second. I'm going to do the arctangent of 14 divided by 13.4, and I get 46.25. And let me just double check that out. I just want to make sure. 14 divided by 13.4. So the arctangent of 1.044. Yep, 46.25. Okay, so that is a 46.25 degree angle. That means this angle is 46.25 degrees. All right, so you should show your work and take pictures of at least these problems. I expect you to make a toolkit. I expect you to be ready for the test. I expect you to practice some more. Answers are posted online. There's no excuse. All right, I'm out.